So I'm very sorry that it's upsetting to white people recently. But you see, that word nigger was designed to hurt me. In fact, it was on this planet before I even got here. So if something is designed to hurt you, what you do? You don't let it. All right. Like if I was a woman, I wouldn't let words like bitch or cunt or fat upset me. I would be more offended by words like, you gonna be paid less. You got to pick, man. You got to pick what you gonna be mad about, man. You can't be mad about all the bullshit, man. And, like, I don't know, I feel really weird about it sometimes. Like, for instance, I know that, you know, words, we need words. Words are crucial. But sometimes we go too far with them. Like, I hate the idea that there's a certain set of words, just because I'm black, that if I hit them, I'm supposed to lose my fucking mind. I'm supposed to de-evolve as a human right before your fucking face. Because I've heard these words. And you do know that words are like sounds. They're just sounds. I was walking with a buddy of mine, right? English, black. This was a couple of years ago. Late Saturday night, London. We walking down the street about 1:30 in the morning. 5 drunk English white dudes walking towards us. And I know they was English because they, oh, you fucking twat, you wanker. You know what you do. And my buddy was like right here, and as they walked past us, he heard one of them say, black bastard. And my friend went nuts. Reg, you fucking hear that? You hear that? You called me a black bastard. Let's go fuck him up. Let's go fuck him up right now. I said, okay, we can't go fuck him up. But first, let's remember that at the time of your birth, your father was mysteriously absent. I can fuck him up, but I won't do it with conviction. And we've been taught in the last few decades that we had a right to be upset if we're not respected in a certain way, and that's true. But it can get in the way of actually just solving problems. Just how you meet people. Just because sometimes to get on with people, you got to come where they at. You can't always make them come where you at. Like, I was in Ireland, and I had, done my gig, and I was outside having a smoke, a couple of friends around. This drunk Irish dude, short, walks right past us, freezes, and walks right up to me and says, geez, you're a big mean-looking cunt. And my friend started getting pissy, like, hey, and I was like, no, relax, it's all right. I speak Irish. What he is trying to say is that you look like an interesting person. Maybe we can be friends. So I said, how you doing, you drunk patty bastard? And he went, hey! He's my manager now. And I was drinking with him later, And he said something to me that a lot of white Irishmen have said to me since. Like, and they say it warmly, like, you know, like you should be charmed or something like, by this. He says, "Hey, Reg, you know, Irish people are considered the niggers of Europe." No wonder it feels like home. I told my dad that shit, my father, 92 years old. I said, "Hey, Dad, you know Irish people are considered the niggers of Europe." And he said, "God damn it, white folks won't let black folks have nothing." Oh, man. And like I was back in Georgia recently, and yeah, I was there, and just my family, friends, you know, when I got there, first thing they do, especially ones that ain't seen me in a long while, first thing they want to do is ask me about Britain. First question. A lot of white people? I bet it's a lot of white people over there. A lot of white people? I bet it's a lot of white people. A lot of white people? And I say, man, this is where they make white people, man. It's like white people's Africa. And then, of course, the next obvious question. Is it racist? I bet it's racist over there. A lot of racism? I bet it's racist. Racism over there? I bet it's a lot. And I said, yeah, there's some racism over there. A fair bit, actually. Anytime, anywhere on the planet, you got two different groups of people or more occupying the same patch of ground, there's going to be some racism. But Britain has more of a class issue. And I had to explain to them, a class system is what you use to discriminate against people who look like you. It's genius, man, fucking genius. Back in the States, we still use that old-fashioned color thing, but over here, state-of-the-art discrimination. And then, of course, they always ask me, any Mexicans over there? Yeah, but they call them Polish people. So, yeah, I mean, there you go. And just, I love my family and everything, but just, I go home and it's a different world. Challenging ideas. Like, for instance, one thing that's real divisive in America is talking about President Obama. People either on one side or the other. And just, you know, there's a group of people that hate everything that Obama does. You know that sort of right-wing, Tea Party, Fox News group of people, they hate everything he do. He could, like, chew some gum and throw it on the ground, and they go, "See, I told you he's socialist." But there's another group of people, and they love Obama. My sisters, my black community, they love everything he does, everything. And it goes the other way. Like my sisters, they love that imagery. Black man in the White House with a black woman. It's like the Kennedys in black. Just, it's lovely to them. And I get it. It's very romantic. But they don't really pay attention to policies or what's really going down. And I was talking to my dad, and we were just chatting. And then I just said, well, you know, he said he was going to close Guantanamo Bay. He ain't. Said he was going to shut down them 2 wars, open up a 3rd. And I'm just saying, is he ever going to do something he say he going to do? And my sister broke in, and she was mad. She was like, excuse me, you just like them people on Fox. Barack Obama is doing wonderful things for black people. What you do for black people? I said, well, I try not to eat fried chicken in front of white people. I mean, you know, we all do what we can, you know. Thank you, sweetness. I sure appreciate it. That's why men get in the show business, baby. I tell you what, though, man. Since I've been over here, and I've been over here going on, I guess, 14 years gone by. Been here, and I have to be honest, I have met a lot of white people. I mean, a fantastic amount of white people. And most of the white people I've met have been wonderful, fantastic. In fact, I would say 72.3% of the white people that I've met have just been stupendous, world class. Britain does white people very well. But within that group of nice white people, there's another group of white people, and they're real nice, but they're real nervy, socially nervous, awkward, constantly afraid that they're gonna do the wrong thing, say the wrong thing, not properly observe your custom. And a lot of them have a secret fear that they might be racist, but they don't know it. What if I'm racist, but I don't know it? What if I run around doing racist things every day and I don't know? What if I patronize racist institutions and take advantage of them? And sometimes they panic, and one of the things they do is they try to run out and befriend an ethnic minority. They feel like, well, if I'm friends with an ethnic minority, how can I be racist? It's like being blessed by a black. And sometimes what they really want is to have an ethnic minority to run things past, just to see if stuff is racist or not, you know? You know that TV series, Love Thy Neighbor, comedy classic or racist? I was in a bar, having a drink, minding my own business. Guy walks up, white guy, friendly, joking, laughing. Suddenly he gets serious and he says, I need to ask you something. I said, okay, what you got? I might have been racist recently, but I'm not sure. I said, all right. I was in a cinema last Tuesday, and I bumped into a black guy, and I said, sorry, didn't see you. Now... You tell me, is that racist? I'm like, fuck, man, I don't know. Was there hatred in your heart when you said it? Yeah, and I don't really like talking about the race stuff, but I mean, I be around lots of white people, and it just comes up. I mean, people ask you questions, and then you get forced to examine your own self. Like, do you ever have that thing? I'm asking, do you have that thing where you are embarrassed by your own people sometimes? Yeah, just like whatever group you think is your group of people, when they fuck up, you just go, oh no. Sometimes I'll be back home watching the news and it'll be like, coming up in 10 minutes on the local news, an assailant breaks into a bank and shoots 6 people and robs a liquor store. Details at 11. And there's a part of me, a genuine part of me that falls to the TV and goes, please don't be black. And that's insane. I mean, in the sense, you have to feel like that, I guess, if you love your people. Because if you love your people, then the flip side is a shame. But, you know, people you don't know, and just sometimes I catch myself being possessive about black people. Like they mine. Yeah. Sometimes I get mad, sometimes I get happy, and that got me in trouble one time. I got booed off stage in Germany. Military gig. And let me say, thank God we have a military. Thank God we have somewhere for these motherfuckers to go. Thank God there's a war. Thank God there's a military, because you don't want certain people running around in general population. You need people who are a little bit extra but still legal to have somewhere to go, you know? I was on stage, right, and it's my fault. I was drinking. I had been living in England for a couple of years, and I picked up some bad habits, and you motherfuckers drink the way Americans eat. And, a whole nation of people who, before they go out for an evening of drink, they have a drink. It's like being back in America and going, what? We're going out to dinner? Shit, I better have a steak right now. I'm on stage, right? And I'm doing the gig, and I'm drunk. Alcohol is kind of new to me. I've been experimenting, and I'm drinking like Jack Daniel's shots, chasing it with a pint of cider. And, but I'm stoned over. I'm stoned, boy. I'm surprised how coherent I remain with this concoction. Not as much as I thought it turned out, but I was on stage and the audience, about 200 people, mostly white, sitting in the audience, and I'm kicking it the first 3-4 minutes, when all of a sudden, about 10, 15 black people come in. They come in late, noisy, just, not like, excuse me, just like, what's up, girl? This shit better be good. I ain't wasting my Friday night with this bullshit. Just like there's not a show going on. And all of a sudden, I started feeling embarrassed. And it was stupid. I don't even know these people. But I'm embarrassed because, like they're a reflection of me. They coming in noisy and aggressive and just putting off the rhythm of the show. Plus, they're late. And there's that stereotype. Black people can't be on time. CP time. Colored people time. And I hate that fucking stereotype. Even though I'm often late myself. So they come in, and some of them go to the bar. They're ordering drinks noisily. And, all that Jack Daniels I was drinking said, hey, these your people. I think, it's up to you to do something about this. So I said, hey, black people, when you going to join the rest of us at this show? You can't come in all late and noisy, segregate yourself, and then turn around later and go, white people sure treat us funny. And that Jack Daniels said, that's pretty good, yeah. It's all right. Next time, make it funny. And, but I saw some of the sisters at the bar, and they was giving me attitude like, and Jack Daniels said, go get him, baby, go get him. I said, black women, when you gonna drop some of this angry as hell, tough as nails, ain't gonna take no bullshit attitude? All of y'all can't be Mary J. Blige. Some of y'all so worried about somebody getting over on you, you don't know how to let nobody get close to you. And that's when that Jack Daniels said, I don't know if you should have said that. That's when one black woman stood up, she was mad as fuck. She was like, excuse me? Motherfucker, you don't know nothing about no goddamn black woman in here. How dare you stand up and say that bullshit in front of all these white folks? And I bet you fuck white women anyway. Nigga, you ain't shit. And the women around her going, you go, girl. You get it. Yeah, that nigga ain't shit. Get him, girl, get him. The black dude started going, yeah, who booked this motherfucker? You ain't supposed to be. I was like, oh, the gig is going shit. But I'm getting mad too. But I'm trying to like keep him cool. And it would be cool if this lady would just go. If she would just go, but she makes a scene of going. She like, give me my goddamn pocketbook. You coming? I start not to even come to this motherfucker. And she, 3 or 4 women leaving, she get to the door, and she would just go. She just, I'm leaving. That's right. Wish we had your email address. I bet you get plenty of hate mail from black people just like us, and without thinking. I said, I do. I've never seen so many misspelled words before in my fucking life. And that's when the gig went bad. I had a military escort out of the building. And I got home, man, I got back to the hotel, I was on the phone, I was like a little bitch on the phone to my parents. I was like, Mama, they was throwing stuff at me. But yeah, what you do, man? What you do? And I like to ask a question, and I'm gonna do that from time to time. And as I mentioned before, I mean, I will be using certain words. Like I said, the word nigger. I probably use the word cunt. I like the word, but I didn't really say the word until I got over here. And because we don't really say it in Georgia much. Like, you say the word cunt over there in the Deep South, and people be like, and it's plosive. It's one syllable. The motherfucker knew what you meant when you said it. I love it, man. And I forget sometimes that everybody don't feel like that. And so I was on the phone. And my buddy Steve, you know, I was on the phone talking to my dad, and my dad's 92 years old, and just me and him cool though, like he's my best friend. And I was like, yeah, Dad, I'll be home, man, but I gotta do a corporate thing for these cunts. And Steve said, you talk to your dad like that? I said, oh, I don't think he really know what that means. I said, hey, Dad, do you know what a cunt is? And he said, some kind of raccoon or something, ain't it? Close enough. How you get into it with people is really, really important. How you start off, just how you talk, man. Just like I'm not dating right now, and I'm not really having sex right now either. And I tell you why. I made a decision about 6 months ago. I made a decision. Most of my dating life, like all the dates, the sex, the relationships, any chance at any of those things all happened because I initiated. I did the asking. Tired of asking. Been asking for the last 30 years. I feel like I've been on a 30-year audition. At some point, psychologically, you have to start to wonder, if I have to do all the asking, maybe I'm not worth asking. And you know what? For that reason, I decided that I'm not going to get into any situation until I am asked. And consequently, I'm not dating or having sex with. I thought it was going to be a life change, but it turns out it's going to be more of a phase. Hey, look, I got a question. By a show of hands, how many people in this room feel that it's fair to hold someone to something they said or promised during sex? Okay. A couple people right there. Who else? All right, right there, all right. All right, this lady here thinks it's fair. Okay, all right. Who else? A few people. All right. Just not a lot of people, I can say. You know, not a lot of people feel like that so far. Okay, by another show of hands, how many people feel that it is unfair to hold someone that they said or promised during sex? Raise your hand if you think that's unfair. Ooh, okay. All right, then. So I would say the least amount of people believe that it is fair to do that. The second most people believe it's unfair. And the rest of y'all just ain't having sex, I guess. I don't know. Just be surprised and pleased you fucking. I don't care. Excuse me, ma'am. What's your name? Hey, Sarah. How you doing? My name is Reg. Thanks for talking to me, Sarah. Sarah, you was kind enough to indicate that you believe that it's fair to hold someone to something they said or promised during sex. Can you explain why you feel like that? He promised you what? So this man next to you promised you a dog during sex. Wow. How did that go? It's just, he was just feeling so good and so grateful. Just, you keep letting me hit this, I'm gonna get you a dog. Big old dog, big old fluffy dog. Ah, woof, woof. That was a very entertaining answer, ma'am. I am afraid we are no closer to the truth. Why is it you feel that it's fair to hold someone to something they said or promised during sex? Because he promised you a dog. Okay. Wow, okay. Well, that seemed like that's about all we're going to get out you tonight. All right, move along here. Nothing to see. Just What's happening, man? That's your lady, man. That's your lady. You made that choice. But if you do believe in holding people to something they said or promised during sex, I bet sex with you is quiet as fuck, isn't it? Just, did you say something? Just saying, man, I have this weird thing, and I don't enjoy it. It makes life a little hard. I have a sort of mistrust of women. Not of women, but a mistrust that what they're saying may mean something else, and you got to look at it a little bit closer. It's weird because, my mother told me, she's like, she says, be careful because girls, women, they're manipulative and they switch the truth around and they can be evil. I know I'm one. I remember the first time I felt that mistrust. I remember I was 17. I was at a party, I was with my boys, we were like batteries for each other. Yeah, man, yeah, looking good, smell good, let's go get some pussy, yeah! Like that's ever successful. And, so I'm at this party, and we're dancing, I'm dancing with this girl, and she's like really good looking, and like she's just like really hot, and she's like gyrating on my leg and just sliding up and down, and I'm thinking, hey, I keep this up, might give me a kiss, man, I might be in there, boy. Suddenly, she grabs me by my hand, leads me off the dance floor. We find a closet, an empty closet. We start touching, kissing, buttons and zippers flying all over the place. She gets completely naked. And then she says, I can't do this. What'd that mean? What does that mean you can't do this? I'm sorry, I don't know you well enough. Okay, but fair enough, you don't know me well enough, but at the point she said this, I had 2 fingers in her pussy. I was like, you don't know me. Fair enough, if you don't feel like you don't know someone well enough, but don't wait till then. That's not the time to negotiate, So I'm like, what's the line, baby? I mean, what if I grabbed your breasts, or what if I just put in 1 finger? Would you have said, now, come on, you know me better than that. And I don't want to. I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to have a mistrust and everything, but just, for instance, it's just, you don't know what a boundary is. Like, for a lot of women, women can change the course of conversation in the room. Like, 4 guys can be talking and they can be rough. And then a woman walk up and all of a sudden, yes, ma'am. How y'all, come on in. No, is there anything I can get for you? No, you're okay. Just the presence can alter how men speak. And it's just, sometimes, some ladies expect that. Some ladies need that. Like, all right. My last lady, no, fuck that, my mom. You see, I'm from the deep south, and they don't really like you speaking up too much and saying stuff out of, like, parts of Georgia, sarcasm is still considered witchcraft. Just saying, man, and just, man, I got drunk on stage one night in Georgia, and all I was trying to say was that the Catholic Church is a political organization posing as a religious one. But what I said was, fuck the Pope. And, but one of the problems for me in relationships is the language. Just how specific are we going to be and how honest can we be with each other? Like, everybody like to say, oh, I'm honest, I love honesty. In the same way everybody think, oh, I have a sense of humor. Ha, ha, ha. No. Just like, for instance, like the English language is great because it's full of action, object, possession. But the English language is not real good for being specific with just one word. Like, there's a German word which means to enjoy someone else's misery. Who else but the fucking Germans to get that? There's a Russian slang word which means I love you, but I hate you in this moment. One word. And see, our language doesn't do that, and it should. There should be a word for something like, I know I just fucked up, but right now, I really need you not to give me shit about it. Think how many lives that could have saved. There probably should be a word for something like, if I had known you were going to walk into that, I would have fought it later. Or, no word for that, no, and there should be. There definitely should be a word for something like, yes, I would love to be physically intimate with you, too. But first, I need you to convince me that afterwards, you can keep your fucking mouth shut. Tiger Woods could have used a word like that. I don't know, man. My last lady, she saw herself as the type of person who was open-minded, and she was. My mama saw herself as open-minded. All right, you should know, all right, about it, I hated my mother. But, you know, since she's died, I've come to love her and even respect what she was trying to do, because I see it now. But she was rough, man, like physically violent. Like, in the moment, she could fucking lose it. You know, broom handles, extension leads, you know, just whatever, shoes. Now, it's called abuse now, but back then it was just called being a good Christian. And she had this phrase that she would say just before she snapped. And if you heard it, that was your ass. Just, you don't seem to understand what I want from you. But you know what? I can show you better than I can tell you. No. Keep fucking up the way you fucking up. And I can show you better than I can tell you why you shouldn't. When I was 14, I got in some trouble. When I was 14, I got mixed up in something that's very dangerous for any teenager to get mixed up in the Deep South. I got mixed up in sarcasm. And, tried it 1 or 2 times at first, just casually, socially, you know. And before I was kind of hooked on it, and just one day I forgot to do something, and she fucking snapped. And she was like, you know what? When I tell you to do something, I don't mean for you to do it when you get good. You know what? I'm not going to argue with you. You know what? I can show you better than I can tell you what I mean. And without thinking, I said, well, maybe if you had a better vocabulary, you wouldn't be so violent. And you know, you would have thought she'd have said, that's an interesting hypothesis, son. I never looked at my own behavior in such a fashion before. But she did not have the vocabulary to say nothing like that, so she showed me. I don't know, man. It's like... One of the reasons, too, but I mean, I just need to get some things straight in my head and provide. I need to know how the game go before I get back in the dating game, man. Just because there's this unspoken, unwritten rule in dating and in relationships that you, in order for the happiness of your relationship, you're supposed to keep your woman in a perpetual state of fantasy about her age, her weight, size of her ass. You just supposed to collude in this. And if you don't, you're a bad man. My last lady I'm talking about, we went on holiday, right? And we went and we ate and we drank and we laid on the beach and we ate and we drank. It was beautiful and everything. So we get ready to come back and we get on the plane and we sit down and she says, these seats seem smaller. Don't these seats seem smaller to you? I think these seats are smaller. I was like, well, they feel no different than me. And she goes, no, I read an article that said that our airlines were going to try and make seats smaller on planes so that they can get more people on the plane. Those cheap bastards. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, it's probably smaller seats and stuff, baby. Why are you using that voice? What voice? That voice you use when you don't quite believe what you're saying. You know what I believe? I believe I'm just a man sitting on a plane, just waiting for it to take off. I'm not bothering nobody. I'm not fucking with nobody. You clearly think something. Why don't you just say it? Hey, I think, you know, we've had a nice trip. We've ate. We good. I think, you know, let's just keep making it good, baby. At least until we get home, you know? I think everything's fine. You're the one who's tense and nervous. Just go on stage and pretend like you're some tough guy who says what he thinks, but you won't tell your woman what's on your mind. You got a fat ass. You got a fat ass, and frankly, I think it's beneath you a woman of your intelligence and education pretending that the airline is engaged in a conspiracy to put more seats on a plane rather than admit you don't ate your ass fat. And I feel ridiculous having to answer to this because I'm a black dude. One of the reasons I'm with you is because you got a fat ass. I'm always amazed, too, like when people get offended by comedy. Like, you know, just a comedian said something or just, I mean, come to a comedy show and get mad. You know, I had a lady storm out one time, just, you sexist pig. And I was like, I probably am, but I like to point out to you that women of substance, of honor, of gravitas fuck sexist men every day. So, I'm not saying being sexist is cool. I'm just saying it damn sure don't seem to exclude you from too much. But how do you get offended at comedy? How do you come to a comedy show and get offended? How do you come to a comedy show and bring your most sensitive self? How do you come to a comedy show and not suspect that the motherfucker on stage might be joking? My last relationship, great lady. She taught me a lot, expanded my horizons and all that, but she had a boundary about what she could hear. Like, some people have a boundary of what can even be said in their presence. And, like, one night I was on the computer, and she was sitting there next to me, and she looked over at me, and I must have had a crazy look on my face, because I had an idea. And I couldn't tell if it was going to be so. It could be something, nothing, might be everything. But I couldn't tell. And she said, "Ooh, that's a wild look on your face. What's going on in that mind of yours?" And I said, "Ooh, baby, I got an idea. It might be shit, but it might be everything." And she said, "Ooh, tell me what it is." And I said, "Oh, no, don't worry about it. I'm good." She was like, "No, tell me, just what is it?" And I was like, "It's just an idea, but it's a rough idea, and it's the kind of idea that could offend a lot of people if they're thinking the motion of it." She goes, "Don't treat me like a girl, okay? I want to be a friend, too. I see the way you talk to guys and your friends and your male comedian friends. I don't want to just be something you touch and protect. Come on." I said, "Okay. And that's just a theory. But maybe it's possible that rape was a necessary part of human development." Go on. I said, "Okay, back with the caveman, back with early man, back before there was written language, back before there was an alphabet, back before there was even an agreement about what a grunt would mean. There could not have been chat-up lines. There could not have been some way to subtly suggest to someone, 'Hey, baby, why don't you come on back to the cave with me, you know, have some pterodactyl juice.'" And I got this new thing called fire. At first, it's scary, but I think you're gonna like it. There was no way to do that. There was no way to, have sex in that way, i.e. propagate the species. So if you were going to have sex, you probably had to do it by grabbing some woman by her hair and dragging her into a cave. And this is probably where the term pulling comes from. And genetically, it may also explain why a lot of lesbians wear their hair short. And over time, as mankind developed language, i.e. the ability to ask for what he wanted, then rape began to go out of style. And you would have thought she'd have said something like, well, that's an interesting hypothesis, Red. I had never looked at unpleasant human behavior in that light before. But she did not have the vocabulary to say nothing like that in this instance. She was like, really? Okay, fine. I'm just a little tired of men, particularly male comics, being so cavalier about women's issues. You know that rape is the worst thing you can do to a woman? I said, okay, calm down. Not true, but calm. She was like, excuse me? What does that mean, not true? And you know how, like, when you're having an argument with somebody and you think, if I could just say a funny joke right here, this'll all go away. I said, it is not the worst thing you can do to a woman. She says, really? What is the worst thing you could do to a woman? I said, the worst thing you could do to a woman is rape her and then call her fat. I am not recommending anyone do this. I am just saying, on a scale of what's bad to worse. Anyway, we're not together no more. And not as nurturing of the intellectual mind as she liked to believe. Oh boy, but the thing is though, somebody asked me, it's like, you're a good comedian. Why do you do jokes about rape? And it's like, well, I do jokes about everything. But one of the reasons I might make a joke involving rape is that I'm tired of the word just being used to scaremonger. Just, like, I was walking into a tube station in London a couple of years ago. Swear to God, a big old post at the entrance had a picture of a frazzled-looking white woman and a caption that read, if you want to know how much an illegal taxi costs, just ask a rape victim. I stared at that thing for 15 minutes thinking, of all the things I ever thought I'd ask a rape victim. Excuse me, ma'am. I can see you just been raped, but I'm trying to get from Walthamstow down to Crystal Palace, and I don't want to pay a lot of money, you know what I mean, I look around the audience and I see a few people who didn't laugh at that joke, and some of the people who didn't laugh at that joke, they didn't laugh because they feel that certain pieces of subject matter should not be available to comedy. So to show their disapproval, they withheld their laughter. But take it from the rest of us who did laugh, it was fucking funny. Just saying though, man. And I think too, man, like, I think you've heard of like men and women, the battle of the sexes. Battle of the sexes is just some 1950s way of saying that no matter how good times have been between men and women, underneath, there's always been a little something, a little tug of war. And I do believe that language and just talking things through can solve our biggest problems. As long as you don't bring all that emotion and represent your group and represent your class and your gender, just solve the fucking problem. Like cheating. Cheating in relationships, I hear consistently about men, is one of the worst problems. It's the scourge of the relationship world. Okay, well, we can solve this by just talking about it. Cheating does not start when you touch somebody. Cheating starts in the mind and in the heart. And it's in the secrecy that a little bitty old regular human desire can become a full-blown fantasy. But if you talk about it, shed the light of day on it, then that shit just scatters like a room full of rats. But you got to be mature to have that kind of relationship. You got to be able to talk things through. And fellas, if you're looking for that kind of lady, just you got to be careful, because some women's boundaries vary. What one woman cool with, another woman ain't. But you can test her. Maybe you holding her in bed late at night in the dark. Y'all just talking about the past and getting to know each other even more deeply, more intimately. And just kind of drop in the conversation something like, yeah, when I was 12, I put some firecrackers up a dog's ass. And if she fall apart like, oh my God, that's horrible, that can't be, why would you do that? And now she act like that, then you know you can't come with the heavy shit. But if she cool, and she keep talking in a cool way and, you know, y'all all right, then y'all have a chance to have a mature relationship where y'all can talk things through without your bullshit getting in the way. One day, y'all can even have a conversation like, penny for your thoughts? I want to fuck your sister. And if y'all have a mature relationship, she may say something like, okay, but I'd like to point out to you that if you were married to my sister, you would want to fuck me. And if he's a mature man, he'll go, so you saying that variety in vagina is an illusion, and it started in my body by that biological selfish gene bullshit. Thank you, baby. I'm glad I'm with you. You explain shit to me. That's right, baby. I ain't gonna fuck your sister, baby. I'm back, baby. I'm back. Battle of the sexes. Men and women have been having a fight underneath, but, you know, and I think men and women should fight. I think we make each other better. Women make men sharper. Men make women sharper. We are better for the fight. In fact, you could never truly know a person until you know how they fight. I got that from the second Matrix movie. The only problem with men and women fighting, and this is just the one, there's no level fighting field. The things that men do well in the fight, women can't do. And the things that women do well in the fight, men can't touch. I feel like I never explained this right. Excuse me, ma'am. What's your name? Helen?
No H. Ellen.
Ellen. Hey, Ellen, how you doing? My name is Reg. Thanks for talking to me. What's wrong with you? Now, Ellen, and this is not going to embarrass you, but you are a young, attractive woman. And for this reason, I presume you possess the ability to emotionally manipulate me. Now, by emotionally manipulate, I mean you probably could easily get a man like me to buy lots of drinks in a bar, or lift something heavy for you, or change a tire on a car, or if we were going out with each other and having a disagreement and I was winning, you probably know how to do that thing where you make your eyes water just a little bit. And then you stop talking for a long, long while. And then suddenly, magically, you win. Now, Ellen, I am not saying that I know for a fact that you do this, but I am saying by virtue of the fact of being a young, attractive woman, you at least know how this type of thing is done. It probably easily falls within your skill range. But see, I'm a man, and like most men, I ain't no good at that kind of stuff. I cannot meet you on the battlefield of emotional memory and remembering what motherfuckers said 2 years ago, and I cannot meet you on that battlefield and expect consistent victory. But what I can do is take a sack, put it over your head, and shove you into the boot of my car. Because that's in my skill range. See how much better things are when we talk about? See that? I have to say in advance, yeah, I mean, I think marriage is wrong. I think it's slavery. I think it's true for everyone involved, but especially men. In fact, I don't even react well. You know, you're supposed to be happy when you hear about somebody getting married. I don't. When somebody says, hey, Tommy's getting married, I'm like, oh, no! He was so young. And of course, maybe I would feel like that, because I think there's a growing number of men who feel like that. It's rare to, you meet women who feel like that, but fewer. And fair enough, because marriage is for women. So, of course, that marriage is a legal contract that ensures a woman some measure of protection in case your man dies or wakes up one day and don't like you no more. Everything else is what you feel. And just, yeah, okay. I mean, I'm not trying to have a go or nothing, but I read an article the other day that was one of them articles talking about the decline in marriage numbers, just, across the board, especially in Western countries. And they start listing all these highfalutin reasons, well, there's the breakup of the nuclear family, and there's people are post-religious, and just, people are living longer, and people expect a certain quality of life individually, all of which are fair reasons. But as is the case in articles like this, it didn't list an obvious reason to me. With the spread of communication, internet, more and more young men are aware of how picking badly can result in being financially raped for the rest of your fucking life. I mean, we got to at least consider that as a possibility. I'm not saying that's the only reason. And I get it, man. I get it. I mean, I'm not having a go, but the whole marriage, children thing, I think special people ought to be able to do that. I think that's a really special thing, the meeting of man and woman. And just people, just because you drunk and a little bit lonely, I mean, you can get married and create a whole other human being. That's astonishing to me, man. One night after a show, this lady came up to me and she was mad. She was like, this is my partner, and we love each other, and we feel like having a child is a perfect celebration of our love. I said, celebration, huh? You couldn't just have a fucking party. You couldn't take 1/8 of the money you're gonna spend on that little motherfucker for the next 16 years and throw a block party the city won't fucking forget. For years, people will come up to you and go, I remember your love. I still celebrate that motherfucker. I was talking to my brother recently, and I think he got into this trouble because he said dumb, inspecific terms. He split up with his old lady, and they broke up vicious. I mean, it was hateful, lawyers and all that. He came over to the house one day, and I hadn't seen him in ages, and I was like, hey, baby, how you doing? And he's like, I can't stand her. I can't fucking stand her. I hate her, I hate her, I hate her. I was like, who? He goes, you know what I'm talking about. I told her when I left, you can have the house, you can have the car, you can have all the stuff. My only requirement is that you do not allow another man to live in this house. And the next week, she had another nigga living right up in there, telling you she evil. I said, okay, calm down, calm down. So what you telling me is, you told her, the one person in the world who hates your guts, you told her the one thing you didn't want her to do, and you are shocked and hurt that she did it. She might be evil, but you are definitely dumb as fuck. That's dumb. It's dumb. It would be just like if I went to prison and my first day in D Block, I went, hey, I don't like being fucked in the ass. Tends to make me shy and obedient. I don't really want to do that. Thank you very much. Sorry to bother you for your time. I was talking to my old man. I was complaining about how expensive it is living in London. This is the place where the American dollar goes to die. Oh my God, I feel like I can't leave the house without spending 20 quid. I go out the door, 20 quid. I go up the street, 20 quid. I look out the fucking window, 20 quid. And I was saying to my dad, I was like, Dad, it's just expensive, man. It's just killing me, man. I feel like I'm being financially raped every day. And he says, well, your problem is you don't understand world economics. And you do. I got a pretty good grasp of it. I said, okay, what you got? He said, okay, well, basically, there's a man whose face and name you don't know. He got his hands wrapped around your nuts. There's another man whose face and name you don't know. He got his hand wrapped around last man's nuts. And there's still another man whose face and name you don't know. He got his hand wrapped around the last man's nuts. And this nut holding going on all around the world. And when one of y'all sneeze, everybody nuts hurt. It's my father's economic nut theory. Me and Steve, we got drunk one night, a little bit high, being on the road. One thing led to another. And we watched Sex in the City 2 on DVD. I know. I'm saying. My sister stuck it in my bag. She was like, this will like humanize you more because you like not dating or touching nobody. I was like, yeah, cute. And Steve and I, we just was like, fuck it. We ain't got nothing else to do. We're in Norwich. And, you know, we just... Why not? I don't know if you've seen this movie, but oh my God. I don't know the characters' names real good. One of them narrate all the time. I just call her narrator girl, because she be talking even when you can't see her. And there's two of them that I just think they're real boring. I don't really pay attention to their storyline. I just ignore it. And the other one, she's very promiscuous. I just call her Super Hoe. And there's a scene early in the movie where a narrator girl is with her husband in their New York penthouse apartment. And she goes, come on, honey, let's get dressed. We have another New York socialite party to go to. And he's like, oh, honey, look, I got some takeaway. Why don't we do like that time we were on vacation and just curl up on the couch, eat takeaway, watch old movies? And she's like, no, I don't want to become one of those couples. He says, okay, calm down. You go to the party. When you get back, I'll be here. She goes, no, I don't want you to become one of those men. So she drags him to this party. They get separated. She looks back, and he is talking to a gorgeous young Brazilian woman. Now, you can see it on her face. I must shut this shit down. And she is over there, and she is nice, like, hi, how are you? She's what we call in America, nicety. She shut that shit down. I mean, like Ben Kenobi in the Death Star, just shut down. Now, it's not clear why she felt threatened by this woman. I don't know if it's because the woman was younger, better looking, more interesting. It's not very well written. When she gets home, she starts giving her husband shit. She starts giving him shit for just talking to this woman. And she's just like, oh, you hurt me. It's just, why would you? And he's like, honey, no, it's not like that. You're overreacting. Not once does he say to her, you mad? You have room to be mad. There's plenty of room in this relationship to be mad. But before you continue being mad, I'd like to make 2 points. First of all, I did not touch that woman. I did not exchange numbers with her. I did not put my nuts on her chin. Second, if I had been left alone to sit on the couch and eat my burger watching this movie, I wouldn't have even met that motherfucker. But he don't say this. I told you, it's not very well written. Anyway, there is marital tension in the house. But fortunately, narrator girl gets a phone call from her buddy, Superho. And Superho say, girl, I just met an Arab dude who is a little overimpressed with Western white women. Let's go to Dubai and beat him out some money. Now, I'm paraphrasing, but that's roughly what she said. So they go off to Dubai and everything. Now, this is the only part of the movie I feel was well written and well constructed. Narrator girl and the two boring chicks they pull Superho to the side and they say, now look, Superho. You cannot go over there being the hoe you used to being over here. Them people got different rules. They don't play that shit. They chop off heads and hands. Don't go over there hoeing like you normally do. But she got defensive like, I'm super hoe. Don't nobody tell me what to do with my pussy. I fuck rich niggas all around the world. I'm super hoe, I'm super hoe. And she didn't seem to see her vagina as a part of her body or a piece of genitalia, but to her, it seemed to represent freedom and empowerment and equality. And she was going to use this to challenge Islam. Missiles haven't worked. And so, meanwhile, narrator girl bumps into ex-boyfriend, the one she had just before she got married. His business is prosperous, he's looking good, and he's also looking like he's ready to listen. She flirts with him for a couple of days, agrees to have dinner, and then, while they're alone together, they kiss. Not a peck on the cheek, but kind of a no. And she's shocked. Oh my God, I've kissed a man that's not my husband. How did that happen? Oh my God, I'm an awful person. How did I let this happen? I mean, I'm a columnist in New York City about relationships and sex, but I'm completely surprised that my ex-boyfriend came up along during marital trouble and I wanted to fuck him. What a surprise! So she decides to tell her husband. And her friends are like, don't do it, don't do it. It's a mistake, don't do it. Even Superho is like, I'm a hoe. No, you don't do that. But she do. She calling, he cold, he hang up. Meanwhile, Superho gets arrested. She was kissing a nigga on the beach, got arrested. They gave Superho and the girls a choice. Get the fuck out the country now or go to jail for a long time. So they run around trying to get their shit together. They pass, where's my passport? Where's my socks? Where's my shoes? Not once do they get mad at her for ruining their vacation. In fact, they downright chummy with her. They're like, oh, you. Oh, Superho. You and your crazy pussy, oh. So they go back to New York, and narrator girl, she's in her apartment waiting for her husband. And then he comes in, and he looking kind of cold. And she's like, "Where have you been? I was worried." And he says, "I was just walking around thinking." He didn't do that, but that's what I would have did. He walks up to her and he says, "Yeah, I was angry. I was hurt. But I realized that on your worst day, you're better than any other woman," words to that effect. And suddenly, he pulls out a box and reveals a diamond necklace. So in short, narrator girl gets rewarded for being a cunt. I look over at Steve and I'm like, "Do you see this shit?" And Steve is like going, "Ooh." I said, "Come on, where'd you get heroin?" He says, "It came with the DVD." Man. My father, oh my God, he saw me do stand-up recently, and our whole relationship changed. We've always been close, and we can talk straight. We was driving, and I said to my dad, and he always told me I can ask him anything. My father has always believed that if I can conceive a question, I can handle an answer in some form. I said, "Dad, can I ask you anything?" He was, "Yeah, boy, I knowed you since you was born. You better speak up. You ever had anal sex?" What's that? I said, anal sex is when a man put his thing in somebody's butt. No, boy, I ain't never really thought about doing nothing like that. I have to say that don't mean nothing to me. Why, that means something to you? I have a modest appreciation of it. Well, that's all right, boy. Ain't nobody got the right to judge you for that. Everybody got their own thing when it comes to sex. Some people can only do it missionary style in the bed at night. Some people need to dress up funny. Some people need to be cussed at. Some people need complete silence. Everybody got their own thing. And then he says, "I have let a few men suck my dick, though." What? And then he says, "For money." What man sucked your dick for money? It's back in the 50s. I was up working on the Marine base. Dudes there from all over the world. Just, talking with them and stuff. We'd be joking, laughing. Sometimes they catch you leaving the bar. Sometimes they catch you in the bathroom. "Hey, dude, man, you a funny guy, man. You was really making me laugh, crack up over there. And, man, you seem very open-minded. And, hey, I want to ask you something. If it's not your thing, you tell me. And, hey, I go somewhere else. But I got paid today and I feel crazy, man. I want to do something crazy. I want to like smash windows or like paint a building or I don't know, suck a black guy's dick. I don't know. And son, I can get about $50 for that. Money went towards our first car. But you have a problem with homosexuality. I've heard you walk around the house saying it's wrong. It's an abomination. God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. What happened to all that? Well, there's some things a man believes before he get older. There's some things a man believes before others depend on him to provide. And just, hey, I'm just trying to tell you, boy, everybody got their own thing. Some people need to be beat up during sex. Some people need to be tied up during sex. Some people are fart sniffers. So you just know, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Did you just say fart sniffers? Uh-huh. What is a fart sniffer? It's someone who derives sexual pleasure from having their face directly in someone's ass while farting. And you saying these people exist as a group? Oh, yeah. Made some money off of them, too. How do you make money off of fart sniffers? I was working at this hotel, and there was this bus boy named Rico, and he was a hustler, and he used to get me little side money. Like sometime he'd come to me and he'd say, "There's a man in 812, he wants some girls." Or there's a man in 5B, he wants some after hours liquor. And this particular day, he came up to me and he said, come here. I got a white man up here who want a nigga to fart in his face for $80. I'd do it, but I'm constipated. I was like, for $80, I damn near shit in his face. So I went and I knocked on the door opened, white man in there laying down, boxer shorts. I came in, we chatted for a bit. He asked me if I knew what was going on. I said I did. I made sure he knew what was going on. He said he understood. And then he said, well, let's get them clothes off and get on over here. And I took my clothes off and I went and parked my ass right on top of his face. And I didn't stay there long. It's long enough to crank off 2 or 3 good ones. And then he sprayed himself, and then I got up and put my clothes on. He gave me my money. The whole thing took about 15 minutes. Easy money. That's when I stopped the car and I got out. I was like in a trance. I sat down on a bench going, what the fuck did I just hear? I remember there was a joint in my pocket, and I started to light it, but then I thought, he don't really like weed smoking. If he smell it on me, he'll get... Then I thought, fuck him! I think you'll find that I don't need your approval the rest of this life. He walks up to me and he's like, you all right, boy? Man, I'm sorry, I got a whole different image of you. Part of my self-image is based on my image of you. How could you do this? How could you do this to Mama? No wonder she was an asshole all the time. She was mad. And I tell people you're my best friend in the world, and I didn't know this. How come you never told me this before?